All right. Going live. All right. Going live. A little bit of reverb there. All
Yep.
right, therefore, if you have any uh, thing on the YouTube stream to read the comments, you want to make sure that you mute that so you don't get reverb.
Okay.
And then we'll be ready to go. All right. Going live. A little bit of reverb there.
Yep.
All right, therefore, if you have any uh, thing on the YouTube stream to read the comments, you want to make sure that you mute that so you don't get reverb.
Okay.
And then we'll be ready to go. We're going to share this real quick. Let's tweet this out so we can get some more people in here.
Are you getting any reverb on my end?
Yeah, I'm getting an echo too. It might be me. There we go. I told you to do it and I didn't do it myself. All right, let's see if some people come in here. I show two watching, so I guess it's me and you. All right, we got some people coming in. Some people coming in. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. Tell your friends, share this video, share this live stream. Let's get some people in here for this Sunday Night Live. We have a great guest tonight. We want to get as many folks in here to ask as many questions as possible. You could tweet this out, put it on your Facebook, put it on your Instagram, your social media, and we'll take roll here in a minute and we'll get this going and rolling. Oh, hope everybody had as great a weekend as I did. It has been just an incredible weekend around here, to be honest. Be sure to stay tuned the rest of this week, all of you, to find out what all we got into this weekend. We have Scotty Aleka Cat Fishing Freak in the house. We have PD Fishing in the house. Good evening. Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for coming. Be sure to
Hey,
share this
everybody.
live stream, guys. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. We'll get hopefully some more people in here and we'll get started real soon. Like, I think there's a couple of other live streams still going on right now that people are still over in, but we can have if we don't get many more people, we'll just have a good old time all by ourselves in here. All
Hey,
right.
we can go with a small crowd. It don't matter. I see 4 on there now.
Yeah, I've got 5 now. Holsher Fishing, welcome. Welcome to the live stream, buddy. Thanks for coming. Oh, thanks for coming. Let everybody fill in a little bit and I'll get started. All right, good evening, fishing folks. Welcome to Blue Collar Fishing Sunday Night Live. I'm your host, Kelly, and tonight we have a special guest in Dirt Poor Outdoors. You want to stay tuned to ask him any questions you might have. Our two channels tend to go together like peas and carrots. As a matter of fact, Dirt Poor Outdoors was my first subscriber, and it's a pleasure to have him on my show.
I appreciate
We're
that.
going, we're going to go ahead and get done with the chores here and get the house cleaned. If you know how YouTube works by now, if you haven't already, please hit that red subscribe button, guys. We really appreciate it. Smash that thumbs up, everybody. That really helps us all out. And I'll be sure to check out your live streams and your channels as well. Support her in the chats and in the streams. Do not ask for support. Do not ask for subscribers. Show love, and love will be shown back. I am sure of it. We have some awesome people in here and an awesome channel going on tonight. We have several topics that we're going to discuss with our buddy Nate here from Dirt Poor Outdoors. We'll take roll once again for the 7 watching now. Thank you, everybody, for coming. If you can, tweet this out, share it with your friends, get everybody in here. We'll have us a big old conversation and just a good way to end what has already been a great weekend. All right, folks, in the house tonight with us, we have Scotty Haleka Catfishing Freak, Holsher Fishing, PD Fishing, Fishing with Big Nasty, Fishing and Stuff, Jigging with Jeff Crappie Fishing. To start off, And Nate, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are?
Sure. My name is Nate. Started my channel, let's see, about 3 years ago now. And I believe, Kelly, me and you met through Twitter, if I remember correctly. And
Yes.
we were both kind of early getting started and trying to throw support out there to each other. Um, I live in, they consider it West Texas. I consider it central North Texas. It's kind of like between Lubbock and Dallas area there. Um, basically, my favorite hunting would be deer hunting. I enjoy varmint hunting, coyotes, bobcat, that type of stuff. Hog hunting. Um, do a little bit of dove hunting, but not a whole lot. But the area I'm in is really famous for geese hunting, duck hunting. I haven't really gotten into that yet. I think I work too much to do all that right now.
All right. And now you are mostly known for deer hunting, right? You hunt out of a blind
Yeah,
normally. Name your channel.
when I started my channel, it was really just to shoot videos. I enjoyed taking a camera out there with me and just capturing nature while I was out there. And it kind of, the more I started watching other people's YouTube channels, I'm thinking, man, I can do this for myself and upload it to YouTube, and I'll have it forever. It's kind of like like a photo album, but videos that I'll have forever. And it just kind of spun off from that. And it's hard when you're starting off on YouTube to get a lot of traffic generated. Just a lot of studying and figuring out how it works. But I'm not I'm not really in it to grow a channel, to 1 million subscribers. That's not really my goal. My goal is just kind of like this. We both have, I think, very similar subscribers. Just to grow it steadily and just to meet a lot of cool people in the industry and hunting, and I do a lot of DIY review type stuff also, and like to share my family also.
Yes. Yes. Now tell us a little bit about your family. How many kids do you have, Nate?
I got three crazy, wild, insane boys. Um, it's a blessing to me. I'm kind of glad I don't have girls because I keep hearing a lot of stories that girls are a little harder than boys. At least with the boys, I can roughhouse with them and kind of throw them around the living room. I got a beautiful wife. Her name's Nadia. We've been married 14 years now. And I got a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old. The 3-year-old thinks he is 17. The 7-year-old, I think he thinks he's 7, but the 9-year-old thinks he's 22 already.
I
I think a
have,
lot of people can relate to that.
yeah, I can. I have two teenage boys myself and a wonderful wife. I've been married. This last year was my 15th year anniversary. And I was hoping that I saw in the YouTube there, it did pick me up, picking this pin up. I was hoping that your voice would knock that out. But anyway, so yeah, I have two sons of my own. And my oldest brother, Tracy, is the only one of us who had any girls. So we tease him all the time that the difference between raising little boys and raising little girls is when you raise a little boy, you worry about one pee. When you when you raise a little girl, you worry about all pee.
All of them.
So that's the joke, the running joke there. I will say though, as we have similar niches, and as the blue collar fishing guy and the dirt poor outdoors guy, and my boys, I'm sure as yours are, they have destroyed half of my house and eat me out of house and home, but I wouldn't have it any other way, I guess. So
No, I mean, you can have a rough day as a parent, but even those rough days, they're the greatest days ever. At the end of the day, when you start thinking about it, you're like, man, this ain't going to last forever. They're going to be out of the house before you know it. So enjoy it while you can.
yeah, my oldest one was born very prematurely, so he barely made it here. So we're lucky to have him, and that hits home for us a lot sometimes. I
We
mean,
have,
he's all right now, and it's but those memories are there.
I feel like we have similar backgrounds because my firstborn, he had a lot of issues. He was in the NICU for quite a while when he was first here. So, yeah, count those
Yeah,
blessings every single day for three healthy kids right now.
Yeah, mine was born the week before Christmas, and we took him home from the hospital the week after Easter.
Wow, that's a long time. Longer than us.
All right, I guess we have 9 watching now. Hey, if we have 4 thumbs up. If you haven't already, please do us a favor and hit that thumbs up, guys. It really helps our channels along. I'll be sure to return a favor if any of you do live streaming. All right, we're going to get into deer hunting. And first off, Dirt Poor, where are you located?
Um, like I said, they consider it West Texas. Um, I consider it North Central Texas. We're kind of dead center between Dallas and Lubbock, I would say. It's kind of where foresty trees kind of mixed with the desert. If you can imagine that, there's a lot of pasture, a lot of wheat farms, cotton farms, oil field. That's kind of like the layout of the land around here. But we're not far from Oklahoma. We're probably an hour south of the Oklahoma border.
Okay. Yeah, I work for a company. It's headquartered out of Oklahoma. I
Okay.
spent some time in West Texas in that area too.
hmm I love it. I love living here.
Now, do you do all forms of deer hunting in Texas? You know, archery and muzzleloader and rifle, or are you just a rifle hunter right now? Or
Yeah, right now I just rifle hunt. I would like to get. I now I've had an opportunity to do some archery. I don't have my own bow. I would like to get my own bow in the future, but to get a nice bow or a decent bow, it's pretty costly. I had a buddy. It's about 3 years now. Owned a ranch north of us, an exotic high fence ranch, which I'd never. It's the first time I ever been to one, and he had a bunch of access deer on that property. And it was actually a bachelor party for a friend of ours that was getting married, and he took us a bunch of us there to go hunting. So I got there that morning, and he kind of showed me the basics of bow hunting. And by that afternoon, I shot an access doe and had a great shot on her about 30 yards. But that was my very first time touching a bow, and I actually got some meat out of it.
cool, that's nice. I am. I think we discussed this before, but I am double jointed here in my
Yeah,
elbow, so I've never been able to shoot a bow without more than once because the string just burns the tar out of me. But I live in Pennsylvania now. I grew up in Tennessee, and both areas have lifted the crossbow restrictions, and I believe that's the same for Texas as well. Correct?
correct. Yeah, you can use a crossbow, and I'm not double jointed, but I do have tennis elbow issues. So, as far as the poundage pulling back on a bow, I have to go with a lower poundage because just the elbow issues and the tendon issues I do have. But yeah, you can use a crossbow, and I've thought about getting a crossbow. If I can get a decent bow with the right poundage where I can pull back okay, I'd definitely like to get a regular bow. In a totally different style of hunting, you're, much more up close than you are in a deer blind, for sure.
All right, that's. Do you have a youth hunt in Texas, and do you take any of your kids on these youth hunts?
My son, my oldest, like I said, he's 9, and I just started. Excuse me, got a little cough. Every kid's different, you know. I think it's up to the parent to decide when to put a weapon in their hands. I mean, I've been teaching him since he was real little, gun safety as far as my guns go. But as far as shooting himself, he started with a BB gun a couple of years ago, and he's done pretty good with that. And this is the first year I've actually had him shoot my varmint rifle, which is a Remington 722. And it doesn't pop as much. He did pretty good with it. He needs a lot more practice. I'm thinking maybe next youth deer season, he'll probably be ready to go with my deer rifle, hopefully.
Very good. We have a couple more people joining us in the chat. Out and About Outdoors with Ron and Friends. Welcome, buddy. Yeah, Out and About is actually a buddy of mine. I spent the day with him today at the outdoor show.
That's awesome.
We also have Elgwa. There's like a line in my screen here. It's cutting off. Elguanade Solitario 120. I probably just butchered that, buddy, and I apologize, but welcome anyway. If I did, maybe one day you can contact me and tell me how I'm actually supposed to pronounce your name. Fishing and stuff. What's up? Welcome, Mr. Tully. Welcome. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Again, if you've just come into the chat tonight, we have Dirtport Outdoors. We're discussing deer hunting in his area of Texas and youth and youth hunts. And the next question we're going to go into is on that topic, Nate. What do you feel about kids getting outdoors today? Like, what's the importance of that to you? That kids, I read a study one time that said that prisoners now spend more time outside with their hour of yard time than kids. So, how important is it to you to get kids outside into nature?
Well, I think we talked a little bit about it yesterday. When me and you grew up and we were that 10 and under age, it was a whole different world without social media and stuff compared to today. And the video games, there was no video game when I was that little. I think the very first thing was like Atari and Nintendo. Um, but I think it's really important, and that's one thing that I really love about living where I live. My first one was born in the city, and then we moved here about 6 years ago from Florida, and I feel it's important because I want to get them away from them video games. The kids these days, this is all they do. From they wake up and they go to bed on a weekend or whatever. My kids, they won't have a cell phone until they're the proper age for me. That I feel, in my opinion, every parent's different. We just now got a PlayStation for the kids, and like I said, my oldest is 9. So to me, it's really important. And every kid's different. Also, my oldest, he loves to go in the woods. My middle one, not so much. He's a little different. He likes listening to music, and he's into drawing and art and stuff. He thinks he's a ninja and a Power Ranger all in one. My little one, I think he's going to be similar to the first. He's probably going to enjoy getting out in the woods with me. Like I said, the oldest, he hasn't actually shot anything yet, but he's gone out there with little toy binoculars and sat with me in the deer blind, and he's done scouting with me. And but yeah, I mean, it's extremely important to get the kids out, not just get them away from video games constantly, but for their health. Child obesity these days, is skyrocketing, and teaching them. I love deer meat. My wife doesn't love deer meat as much, but I love deer meat. I eat what I kill. When it comes to deer, and just teach him the importance of just getting outdoors and enjoying Mother Nature. So far, he likes it.
Yeah, it's also, I think it's also important that kids should get dirty. You gotta, it builds up immunities. You get
Yeah.
Vitamin D, just an hour walk in the sun will give you all the vitamin D you really need, and
Absolutely.
and just to be a little bit more well balanced. Really, too much of anything is bad for you.
I agree.
All right. Well, talking about deer meat and eating deer meat, do you have any favorite recipes that you'd like to share with?
Well, like I said, the tough part for me is I love venison. It's not my wife's favorite. She will eat it when she prepares it certain ways. Excuse me. My favorite to do with deer meat, I love deer jerky. I can eat deer jerky every single day. The way I make it, I just love deer jerky. We use it mostly for like meatloaf.
Mhm.
I tend to burger most of my meat. I don't chicken fried or nothing like that. Which is very good also. But we tend to do a lot of chili meat. I love breakfast sausage with my deer meat, and meatloaf, and deer jerky is probably my favorite. Uh, as far as deer jerky goes, my favorite is to use. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with the Dale's marinade.
Mhm.
I'll soak it in Dale's marinade for 24 hours straight. A little bit of brown sugar in there, that lemon pepper seasoning, and just let it sit for 24 hours. I got one of those nice little dehydrators. I throw it in, and I sprinkle a little bit more of that lemon pepper on there also. And man, it is good. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I did a video on a giveaway. I have a like a psychological trigger with lemon pepper. I have an ex before I met my wife that put it on everything, and so now the taste of lemon pepper kind of triggers that memory, and it makes me not like something I would actually probably like otherwise.
Well, then I'll save all the jerky for myself. Then if you don't like the lemon pepper.
Well, you can send me the jerky that way, and I forget there's lemon pepper in it.
I had a cousin
I'll,
in
I'll direct message
California
you
that
the.
begged me for some jerky. I had to ship it there.
I'll direct message you my address.
You got it.
Oh man, I appreciate that. Out and about outdoors with Ron and friends says, yeah, I love to make sausage, chili, and spaghetti. I've never made spaghetti with deer meat. That would be different.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah. Speaking of the breakfast sausage, I grabbed this from the house. I got this at I don't know how far Academy Sports, how far they go, but they sell this stuff right here.
We don't
For,
have them up here. We Dick's is the sporting goods store closest to me.
Yeah, that stuff is awesome for breakfast sausage. I eat breakfast sausage every week. I prepare my breakfast for work every day, and I just mix up some eggs and some sausage, and that stuff is awesome. Usually, when I process, I'll add about 20% or a third, depending on what I'm making of pork fat. Just because deer meat, a lot of people, it's so lean. You can eat it just the way it is, but it's really lean, especially if I'm making sausage or something like that. I always add pork fat. And luckily, I don't know if it's just a small town type thing because I haven't really seen it in the bigger stores. But a lot of the grocery stores in these small towns, they'll package just pork fat, and they'll sell it a couple pounds for $2. And so I always buy those up and freeze them when I get them at the grocery store because they're awesome for adding in the venison to make sausage.
All right. I noticed a couple more people have come in, so let's welcome them. We have Twerking Monkey, aka Pop. Welcome. Thanks for coming. That's a unique name. We have Tightline Nation. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you joining us. And there was another one I thought I saw here. Fishing and stuff. Welcome. Thanks for coming. If I haven't already said hi to you, say hi, and I'll be sure to mention you and shout you out. Right. While we, I see a bunch of fishing channels in the. I just had one. Where'd it go? Now I got to reach across myself. Here it is. Bunch of fishing channels later tonight. I will be giving away a custom lure by my buddy Jack Van Fleet of Jack's Lures. So be sure and stay tuned to win that. I'll give away a lure and one of his stickers. We'll ship that out to you. We'll figure out a question to ask later and give it to one of the people in the podcast coming up. All right, folks.
Really cool.
I grew up in. I live in Pennsylvania now, Nate, but I grew up in the Cumberland Plateau area of Tennessee, and Tennessee has a feral hog overpopulation problem. Some of the neighboring farms have really got a big issue with it, tearing up their fields and their crops, and even damaging livestock. And now I believe Texas has this same issue, right? Is it worse, better? How is the feral hog situation going for you?
Horrible. They're hogs are destroying farmland around here by record numbers. They're out of control, and they've done a lot of things around here. You like deer and dove and most things. You have a season. It is open. I mean, I believe most places are. It's open season here for shooting hogs. There's a lot of places where they actually trap hogs. I don't know where they ship them to, but I've been told there's restaurants up north and I believe other countries where they actually sell a lot of wild hog on their menus at restaurants. So there's a lot of places that trap them and ship them up north around here. But yeah, feral hogs are a horrible problem around here. Like I said, I work in the oil field, so I do a lot of driving around, hundreds of miles every day to different locations. And one day I'll drive by and see this beautiful green wheat field. I'll go by later that afternoon or the next morning. I mean, it is just torn to shreds, dirt everywhere, just rooted all up from just a big group of hogs coming in and tearing it up really, really bad. So yeah, it's pretty bad around here.
Has the state of Texas introduced any new ways to hunt or anything to kind of help control this population?
Well, like I said, it's open season year round, so a lot of guys just go out on the weekends and evenings and set up under feeders and shoot a lot of hogs. One of the big things we have around here is the helicopter hunters. That's a huge business and it's growing. I know it's all around the whole state of Texas, and I know there's other surrounding states that do the same type of thing. But we have yeah, a helicopter company. The one around here, I believe, is called Cedar Ridge, and he does different times of the season. He'll spray, for farmers and do stuff like that. But a huge business of his is taking people pay. I don't know what they pay. I've never done it, and they'll set them up with a nice, rig up with a nice machine gun or whatever they use, probably ARs, and just pop them from the air. Ranchers, farmers, they all give these guys permission. Please fly over my area and take out as many as you can. That's how bad it is around here. And like I said, there's traps everywhere. You can, in one day I might see 20 different traps in, different fields all around because it's really, really bad.
I have a buddy who's in the chat tonight. The guy I just told you out and about. He's never been on a hog hunt. So if we come down to your area, Texas, all we can handle.
Oh yeah, hogs galore, man. It's crazy, and not to mention the damage they do to your cars when you hit them on the highway.
Yeah, yeah. I have a. I'll post some pictures later when I find them on Twitter for you to see. A neighboring farm in the area of Tennessee I grew up in, they dig traps like you were talking about in the ground to catch them, try to keep them out of destroying the fields. And they also have horses, and they spook the horses, and the horses can kick themselves to death and things like that. But I'll send you some pictures. He'll catch 40 in a night, and it won't knock a dent in it. Next night there'll be 50 more.
I just got a new toy. One of my latest videos I put out was talking about bartering and doing trades. I met a guy on a local Facebook Texas predator hunting, and we made a trade. I make these flags that we can talk about later
Okay.
for this light. It's a sniper hog light. I'm going to do a review on this really soon, probably by next week, and I'll do a review. This thing is amazing. You can see hogs 500 yards away um, with that light. It is. I was really impressed. I went out last weekend during a varmint hunt and used that light. So I'm excited to do a review on that thing. But that sniper hog light is really really cool.
Awesome. Had a little bit of a lag there, folks. I apologize. Just catching back up. You said, speaking of that, like now you do varmint hunts or coyote hunts or bobcat hunts in your area of Texas as well?
Yeah, the varmint population is another thing that's kind of out of control, and I know a lot of you see on the news a lot of coyotes are starting to move to some more city type neighborhoods, and they're having issues, and bobcats too. But they do a lot of population control in the state of Texas. They do a lot of tournaments, coyote bobcat tournaments um, throughout the year to help control the population. A ton of cattle right in this general area where we are in Texas, and they wipe out a lot of baby calves. So that's another thing that the ranchers and farmers are asking a lot of hunters, given permission, come on my property, call these coyotes in and get rid of them. So um, there's a huge hunt. They do it 3 times a year. It's called the West Texas Big Bobcat Contest. And me and a bunch of buddies, we enter that every year, at least 2 or 3 times a year. And it's like a $200 fee for a team of four, and grand prize. I mean, for the first place team is almost like 50 grand. So there's a lot of teams that really get involved in it. And so yeah, we did that last Saturday. We didn't qualify. Usually to qualify, you have to have 5 coyotes or 5 gray fox and 1 bobcat to qualify. And the team with the heaviest bobcat will win the tournament. And I think there's 5 placing teams, and then they do bonuses. The team with the most coyotes, team with the most bobcats, and the team with the most foxes get bonus prizes also. But that's real huge in this part of Texas. Also, is varmint coyote type hunting.
Coyote hunting, but what's your biggest coyote to date?
I never have a scale with me. If you look at some of my videos last
Yeah,
year,
I know how that is. Never have a measuring tape
yeah,
or anything either, you know.
yeah, last year during my deer season, it was a not this past season, but my 2017 deer season was a frustrating one because I had a lot of deer and I didn't shoot one of them. So that's another story, which is captured in some of my videos. But I had a horrible problem with coyotes coming. I'd be out there deer hunting, and a lot of times when you see a lot of coyotes, the deer are not going to come around that day in the area I am. So I've got probably three of the towards the end of the season. I got videos where I actually had to take out coyotes. I think I got the shot on camera on either all three or two of the three. One of them I had two coming in right to my blind. I mean, I just started making a little, and man, they 150 yards just came straight at me. My wife was in the blind with me. She loves to go every once in a while, and she was filming for me. And it's funny because she's like, "He's right in front of you," but I had the rifle on, looking through the scope, and this dog 10 yards in front of me. I couldn't get him in the scope, so she's yelling at me, "Shoot, shoot!" And I couldn't shoot because I couldn't see the dog. So they winded me. The wind was in the wrong direction at that time. They took off running, stopped. I got him to stop again and actually pop him about 100 yards away. So um, I don't have the weight on them, but they were good sized dogs. I think I shot, I want to say two, I know two of them, but at least three of them at the end of last season, 2017 season.
Awesome. Seems we have a couple of new people who joined us today. We'll go ahead and say hello, give them a shout out. Muskie Hans, welcome to the live stream, buddy. Thanks for coming. PNW Outdoor Reviews, thank you for coming, buddy. I appreciate it. Stingray Steve, also welcome. If you weren't here a while ago and you don't know, I will be doing a giveaway later. So be sure you stay tuned in for that if you want to win this custom lure from Jack's Lures. All right, Nate. Moving right along. You were talking a while ago about a barter, so let's talk about your woodworking and what you're doing right now with that. I know when you don't make hunting videos, you're in your wood shop. What are you doing there, bud?
Yeah, I'm making, I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I make this stovetop cover. Make these wooden stovetop covers. This one I made for the wife. That was my very first prototype, and it came out really good. That was made with oak. I actually make them with birch wood now. The birch wood, the oak can tend, when you put it on the stove, obviously the fire's out, but there's still heat coming from it. Sometimes you keep it on there while you got something in the oven, and the oak will tend to, it's a solid piece of oak. It'll tend to warp a little bit. So the newer ones I make them with birch now, and they're really solid. They don't warp at all. So I sold quite a bit of those as Christmas gifts this year. We had a local craft fair a few months back, and that really helped me sell some local stuff. But I don't have a flag here to show you, but I think in my very last video that I posted, maybe last Wednesday, there's a flag. You'll see the flag at the end of that video. Make like American flags. I can make Army flags, Marines, Air Force, police flags. The thin blue line, EMT. I do. I'm going to be doing a Texas Longhorn flag real soon. I've done "Don't Tread on Me" with the rattlesnake for a customer before. That's one of my favorite hobbies is getting out here in the wood shop. I'm very blessed to have this big old space in here where I can build furniture if I wanted to. But I also just did a video on build. I made an oak gun cabinet. That's I think just maybe 3 videos ago. So yeah, man, I really enjoy getting in the wood shop and making stuff out here.
That is awesome. That's some nice looking stuff you got behind you. I will take a look at your last video there, Nate. As a matter of fact, buddy, if you have a way, why don't you go ahead and say something there in the comment box so people can go check out your channel. Be sure you go and subscribe to our guest tonight. He's got a real comfortable camera presence. He was my first subscriber, and I've watched several of his videos. I think most of you will enjoy it. He has a lot of great hunting videos out there and some woodworking videos that I think most of y'all will enjoy. We have we were talking about the feral hog and the coyote problem a while ago. You had in Tennessee. I'm a fishing channel, So we have a similar, of course, we have the feral hog and the coyote situation too, where I grew up. But Tennessee, the area I grew up in, we have a similar nuisance in the fishing world and the Asian carp problem. Do you have the? I know you don't do much fishing that you told me, but do you have the Asian carp problem there? Or is it a nuisance for anglers in your area?
I haven't really heard of that coming around this area. And no, I don't do a lot of fishing. I love to fish, but the lakes are kind of spread out around here, and I work a ton of hours as most people do. Um, Dirt Poor Outdoors doesn't get to travel too much to do a lot of fishing, but I've done some small fishing. Like I said, I'm from Florida, so I used to do a ton of saltwater fishing. Saltwater fishing was my thing back in the day before I left Florida. So I do love to fish for you fishing fans, but I don't have any on my YouTube channel. Maybe in the future I'll add some of that. I really need to get the boys out there, get them some poles, and get them out there in the water because that's something as a kid I loved to fish. You know, a lot of bluegill and sunfish when I lived in Florida, and catfish. But no, we don't have, and it might be a small problem, but not that I know of. And I have a bunch of fishing buddies around here. Have none of them have really told me that we have that issue in this area.
All right. Okay. What is going on? I am looking at the. Are you still here, Nick?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I see you on Hangouts. I'm looking at the feed on YouTube, and it says an error has occurred. So let's see if I can get it back.
It looks like it's flipping back and forth. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but are you watching the Hangouts or are you also watching it on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay.
Sorry about that, folks. A little technical difficulties. I don't know. Maybe it's my broadband or something lapped out for a second.
Hey,
While I'm back in here, I see we have some more people who've come in. We'll be sure and say hello to them. True North Angler, welcome, buddy. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you coming to our live stream. Hope you enjoy it tonight. Who else we have in here? Nicholas Paulette Outdoors. Talked to him a while ago. Well, if anyway, welcome again. If I did. Hunting for Monsters. Hey, Hunting for Monsters. How are you, buddy? Thanks for coming tonight. Appreciate it. Kentucky Catman. Thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate it.
I'm real high tech over here. I've got a mini iPad going on. That's why I keep looking down.
All right. Well, let's get back into the questions. Besides hunting and doing outdoor activities with your kids, do you do anything else?
My biggest hobbies getting out here in the wood shop, hunting. Um, if we go try, I love to camp. We don't have a camper now, but we had a camper for a little while, and love to get the kids outdoor and the wife, and she really loves to camp. There's some great campsites north of the Dallas area that we visited before, and just really enjoy that. I work a lot of hours. I work, on average about 60 hours a week. So by the time I get home, it's kind of dinner and get the kids to sleep. So we don't get a whole lot of time, which is also why I can't really do more than one update a week with my channel. It's just hard, when you're working that many hours to do a whole lot of filming, especially when hunting season slows down. So, my hobbies, I kind of put it on my channel. It's reviewing stuff and woodworking and coaching. We got baseball season coming up, and I assistant coach for my kids' little league baseball team. So that'll be exciting this year because he's moving up to 10U. In this part of Texas, the younger kids, they use a machine pitch. So I think he's a little nervous that kids are actually going to be throwing the ball at him this year, and he's going to have to hit it instead of coming out of a machine. So I'd say coaching little league sports is another hobby of mine.
Yeah, I coached little league for several years myself and was on the board of directors when my kids were little for my local little league here as well.
That's cool.
As a lot of people might have figured out tonight here in the chat, yourself and me we're kind of like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
You're hunting and I'm fishing, and now I grew up in a very rural area. Matter of fact, if my wife's watching, she's probably going to come out and glare at me for telling this story. But my wife is from the city, and I am as country as cornbread. But we grew up in a rural area of Tennessee, and the first time my wife went down there, we met before we were married, met my parents and everything. She's looking around and she's like, "Why is it so dark? Why are all the street lights out? What's a street light?" Just to mess with her, you know. Well, we ain't got no street lights here. So she was just amazed that there were no street lights anywhere to be found. Now I believe you had the opposite side of that coin, right? Like you didn't grow up in it, did you?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Florida. I was actually born down in Miami, Florida. Um, Parents kept us down there for many, many years. I went to high school in central west coast of Florida, and met my wife on the west coast of Florida, the Tampa area. And about 6 years ago, my brother, he lives here in this part of Texas, and he called me. We're just kind of in a rut, I guess in Florida. Not really sure where we're wanting to go and raise our kids and everything, but always been in the city my whole life. Whether spent a little time up in Michigan and St. Louis, and always kind of came back to Florida. But uh, my brother calls me one day, and he's like, "Hey, man," he says, "I got an opportunity coming up. Have you ever heard of aquaponic farming?" So I looked into it. We took a trip out here to Texas to kind of visit the area. And yeah, you want to talk about a culture shock. I mean, I live in a town with maybe not 1,000 people at most, with surrounding towns of 200 people, but loved it, man. It's kind of one of those situations you don't know what you would really love until you experience something new. And man, we both just fell in love with the atmosphere out here, small town life, people just, laid back atmosphere. So went back to Florida, talked about it, prayed about it, and sold our house. Quit my job, got as much savings as we could together, and just made the leap to Texas. Packed up a Penske truck and bought a house out here with the savings that we had, and started a aquaponic farm, raising organic tilapia fish. And we would use the nutrients of that water to grow lettuce and tomatoes and you name it. Just really, really enjoyed it, but it wasn't paying the bills. We live, like I said, 2 hours away from a decent sized town, and it was just too hard to make money to get to market and all that stuff. So had to get my CDL and got a great job with a chemical company to get where we are now. And we're very lucky to have the job I have now. But I'm glad we stayed here, even though the farming didn't work out, because I love the lifestyle out here. I will never move back to a big city again after living out here and meeting the people, that are out here. My wife, she's a city girl, and I still, on the weekends have to take her to town, let her do some shopping, and take her out to dinner. And sorry, I'm getting over a cough, but
No problem.
I love it. I can never leave and be happy, but got to take Mama to town every once in a while on the weekend so she can enjoy her city life again.
Yeah, yeah. We live in the city now that my wife grew up in, and it was a bit of a culture shock for me too. I went from well, not even I didn't even live in the town. The town I went to high school in, it was an 11-mile drive to go to school. I lived 11 miles. I lived 11 miles outside of a town of 2,000 people.
Wow.
It was that small. So it is night and day from up here. And now we live in I think we're about an hour from Philadelphia, which is the fifth largest city in America, and we're hour and a hour from New York City, which is the largest city in America.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's not that large, but it's a lot larger than I'm accustomed to. I remember my town and my area was so small and so backwoods that my nearest neighbor, was a 10-minute walk. My best friend and my second cousin all in the same thing. So
The cool thing about here is, you know, we met some really great people when we first got here, and you get to the mailman. He's your neighbor, and this. And if I need to know who lives in a certain house, I go to my buddy. Hey, who's that 3 miles down the road? Oh, that's so and so, and everybody knows everybody. Everybody's been there their whole life. And we got very fortunate. We moved to an area where we were really accepted quickly by the locals, and I mean, sometimes you can be an outsider, and it takes a while to kind of get in the groove with the town. But we were very fortunate. Texas is just a great state. If certain people have never been here before, man, I love living in Texas. There's really no other state I want to live in. The people around here are just really, really good people, and they'll do anything for you, even if they don't know you that well.
yeah, that's similar to how I grew up. That 11-mile stretch, I could tell you everybody that lived within that 11-mile stretch. Oh, that's Scott Phillips. He married Betty Jean and etc. That
Yeah.
make a left past the old hollow stump and something like that. But now we live in I think there's almost in the little suburb city area. I think there's like 100,000 people here. And then of course we're right parallel with like the third largest city in the state, and so it's a little bit different. It took some adjusting.
Yeah, I kind of got a cool story. You were talking about the bartering earlier, and just how good people are. And that I was looking for information because this varmint hunt was coming up that we just did last weekend, and I don't have a really high dollar light. Before this one, I had a little dinky $30 light, which was great for what I was using it for. But I got on this Facebook page and just made a little comment. Suggestions on this inexpensive light under $100. And I had so many people comment in there because I talked about the tournament coming up. I can't tell you how many people messaged me from the hunting community. Hey man, where do you live? I got a really good light. I'll loan you for your hunt. I mean, I was blown away by the generosity of people, and the thing I really feel blessed and love about the hunting community is how generous people are. I mean, they'll do anything for you when they can, and they don't even know you. And talking to this one guy, he was in the Dallas area. He was too far away. He says, we start talking about the wood flags that I make. He's like, hey man, why don't you make a post about bartering? See if somebody, and that's how the whole Sniper Hog light came about. Was just talking to really good people that I didn't even know. And the more you talk and you just get to know these people, I mean, really touched me on how great people some people can be. And generous to do something like that, because it really touched me in a good way.
Yeah, definitely. How did on that subject, man? What are your feelings about this YouTube thing? I find it that social media. We talked about its evils a while ago, and now we'll talk about its good. And I found, especially for adults, this social media thing. I found some camaraderie here, some like-minded people. Just to
Mhm.
like me and you right now, we live on opposite sides of the country, and we're shooting the breeze about outdoors on a Sunday night. And I
Mhm.
think that's just incredible. Something incredible that's happening with technology in the outdoor industry right now. How you feel about making YouTube videos? What do you get out of it?
Um, I love making YouTube videos. Like I said, yeah, social media. I think to each its own. Some people take it differently than others. I see a lot of positive in social media, not just negative. Everybody knows what the negatives of social media are, as far as bullying and just people trolling other people. That's the nasty side of social media to me that I stay away from. I don't get involved in negativity stuff like that. Um, Me and you, the way we started, we met on Twitter, started talking, and boom. I mean, your channel's outgrowing my channel, and man, that makes me so happy to see you doing so well, and to be your first subscriber, man. That's a really a good feeling. I'm glad the relationship we have, and there's a handful of other channels of just really great guys that I talk to on a weekly basis. The Furminator, he does flags also, but he does a lot of review type stuff. Man, that guy is awesome. I mean, just a super nice guy. His name's Jeff. Um, just talking to those guys and meeting friends, and I've met so many people with this YouTube channel that, like I said, I've talked to on a regular basis. That man, it's just really cool to share stories. Like me and you talked a little bit last night on how similar your lives can be, living in a completely different opposite of the edge of the world. So there's a lot of good that can come out of social media. Um, I've learned a lot from YouTube channels.
Yeah,
You know,
it's definitely a
I've
double.
stolen a lot of ideas from them.
I would definitely describe it as a double-edged sword. There's a lot of negative, but for me anyway, it's been more positive, and it's especially like I said, um, moving up here where it's a culture shock for me, and it's a little harder to make more personal friends. This is an outreach, and the internet is a wonderful thing for something like, man, I'd like to go fishing, but I don't know any place around here, and
Yeah,
so to me, there's a lot more positive, and I enjoy making the videos and the camaraderie and the communication that I got from people. And and this right here, the 10 people watching tonight, they're probably from, like, I know some of them are from Pennsylvania, and then some of them are from Massachusetts. And the last live stream we had, I talked to a guy and was on with a guy in California who we've become friends with, and that's a special thing to me right now.
I agree. And talking about the comments, my setup's not really high tech here. I'm in my wood shop. My camera's sitting on my cell phone, but I got a little mini iPad down here with the comments. So I'm seeing some of the comments, but it's hard for me to look at this and comment here. But I will go through the video when we're done. And if there's any questions in here, I'll hit you back. If you have any questions, just find one of my videos and send me a direct message or whatever. In Or you can find me on Twitter or Facebook, Dirt Poor Outdoors on Facebook. A lot of my flags are on there also. But I don't mean to ignore anything. If you've asked a question and I've missed it, it's just hard to do both at the same time. So I'll get back to you if anybody has a question or a comment. So
I don't see any right now, but I'll be sure to let you know if anyone calls my way. Matter of fact, guys,
okay.
and guys, and well, folks, I don't know if there's any girls watching with you, but um, if you do have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment box for myself and Dirt Poor Outdoors, and we will get with you as soon as we can and see the question. There is a bit of a lag between us and your question, so we'll get with you as soon as we see it. Also, keep in mind, if you're still with us, top of the hour, we're giving this away. Stay tuned. And I did see some in the comment box talking about Jack's lures and the quality that he makes. And yeah, I will agree. And I have a relationship with Jack at Jack's Lures, and he's just a great guy all around. So you want to support him. If you win the lures tonight, congratulations. If you would like one of your own, you want to support him. It is high quality stuff, and that would be jackslures.net. You can also find him at jackslures, twitter.com, and his username on there is Jack Van Fleet. Go over, show him some support. Take a look around his shop and see some of the stuff he's got going on. He is making some great stuff, guys and gals, and you really want to get on it. And it's just he's a special relationship to have. Just a all around nice guy. All right, we're going to get back to questions here. We talked recipes and how you're making them. Well, therefore, do you have any questions for me?
What kind of schedule are you going to set up this year as far as your videos? What ideas you got coming up?
Uh, I have I'm trying to upload my edited videos on Tuesdays. That's the day I'm going for right now is I'm trying to upload every Tuesday my edited videos. I am working in the editing software right now. I have a nothing but catches type montage video that I'm working on. I'm actually that's something else that I'm trying to do this year besides just the fishing and being outside and making trips is I'm trying to make good videos like
Uh-huh.
things you want to watch. I'm trying to some tips and tricks. I also have a outdoor show video and a travel vlog coming that hopefully we'll have up this week. We spent the day today at the last day of the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg, PA. Just a great day we had today. There will be a surprise in that video that y'all don't want to miss when you watch it. So we have that coming. That's something we're going to try to do. And I have the live streams now that I am doing and with different guests, and I'm having those Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know I had the first one at 9, and that's because of the guest we had on who is a California boy, and 8 p.m. here, he was still at work. So, well, yeah, we had to wait on him to get home because he's 3 hours behind us. On
Man, I wish I knew you were going to that show today, because the guy that I did the trade with, he's at that show, and I could have had you send a message to him.
Oh, yeah, really? Do you know what his booth would have been? Maybe we stopped by it.
It was this it's this logo, the Sniper Hog Light logo.
Oh, okay. I spent a little time in the hunting section. I spent most of my time at the fishing seminar today.
Yeah, sure.
I'm a fishing guy. That's my niche. I do enjoy hunting though. I go at least once a year during rifle season with Ron there. He's a better and bigger hunter than I am.
Yeah. It's funny, like you said, we're on different ends of the coin, because, I love to fish, but I'd rather hunt any day than fish. And I know you would rather fish any day than hunt. So
yeah,
we can definitely relate there. As far as me, I do all my filming with my cell phone. And I've been fortunate enough, this phone has a really, really good camera. You can't zoom out real far with it. That's the only problem as far as the camera goes to zooming. This year, I definitely like to try to get a really nice GoPro and a really good vlogging type camera where just the video is going to be, top quality. But, that stuff's really expensive and it's hard to do. As far as editing, uploading, I'm going to try to stick to at least once a week type routine. In the off season, as far as, hunting, editing, I'll probably be doing a lot more review type stuff. I'll probably involve my family a little bit more during the off season, because my for some reason our other channel was doing pretty good. It was just too hard to update two different channels, and separating the video. It's just too hard for the hours that I work to make all that happen. But people love watching my family. We're kind of a crazy, funny, kooky group. But there's a lot of cool families on YouTube, that I enjoy watching also. So that's kind of what inspires me to do some of the family type stuff.
right. We'll go ahead. Who are you watching right now on YouTube? Then we can ask that question.
My favorite channels, I'd say, let's see, Lunkers TV. I love watching that guy's videos. I like how he does a lot of fishing, which I enjoy his fishing. He also adds his family in there. And he's real big into hunting too. So he's one of my favorite channels. Hush, the Hushin guys. That's where this hat's from, actually. My wife got it for me for Christmas. The Hush guys, super. The thing that kind of blows me away is some of these bigger channels. You don't think they're going to get back to you, but if you leave them the right comment or you hit them on Instagram or whatever, man, everybody's gotten back to me. Those guys from Hushin, every time I've messaged them, they've gotten back to me. Hidden Instincts. These guys are huge in the coyote hunting. Bobcats, coyote. Super good guys. Responded to every message I've ever sent to them. Wired to Hunt. Mark Kenyon. He's one of my favorite channels. On the hunting side, those guys. I spend a lot of my time watching their videos.
That's funny. Wired to Fish is one of the videos I watch quite a bit too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we really are two sides of the same coin.
Oh, yeah. It's funny because I believe you told me last night, like my name, Dirt Poor Outdoors.
I had considered something that is how I discovered you. When I went to name my channel, I had actually considered something along the lines of Dirt Poor Outdoors, and then I discovered you on Twitter. I'm like, well, I guess that's not going to be an option. You know?
Man, it's funny because
My first subscriber, so it's just a small world.
when I started doing those hunting videos, and I'm thinking, I got to come up with a cool, catchy, YouTube name. If you look at my wood shop here, I'm looking at a hunting sticks, like a bipod to set your rifle up on. Well, I got it for Christmas, and at nighttime when you're varmint hunting, I like to stand up and do it with the flash, with the red light. Well, this one, it's too low to stand all the way up. So I completely rigged it up, dirt poor outdoor style. I cut, some a foot and a half extensions on the bottom, put some screws in there for the pole to stop in, and I extended that sucker just tall enough where I can stand up and hunt from it. It's just the things you can come up with, dirt poor style, to still hunt and enjoy the outdoors without spending a ton of money that I didn't have or don't have, certain situations. But I just thought the name was real catchy, and so I stuck with it.
On that niche, like I said, I do a lot of budget fishing or something, and people ask me why I do that. Necessity. I've got kids to feed and food to put
Yep.
on the table. Do you have any products or advice for someone who wants to get into hunting where they could start that's on a budget?
You know what I did, especially where I live. It's everybody has leases. You pay to have a lease in this area, unless you know somebody with property, or have a really good friend who will allow you to hunt. You got to pay for it, and it's not easy. When I first moved here, we were doing the aquaponics farming. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any free money to get myself a lease. So just meeting really good people, talking. If you don't have property, talk to people. It doesn't hurt to ask a question. If they're going to say no, they're going to say no, but you won't know until you ask. And one of the guys out there at the aquaponics farm, we started talking about hunting one day. He's like, "Have you ever hunted?" I said, "No, but I would love to, get into it." He said, "I got a property down on the river. It's not very big, but it's big enough to hunt from." And he took me down there, showed me a good place to sit. And a buddy loaned me a rifle. I didn't have my own rifle 6 years ago. And I shot my very first doe probably a week into it, into that hunting season. And 2 weeks after that, I shot one of my nicest bucks I've ever shot. So I, I was real fortunate getting started. So if you don't have the money to get a lease, or just don't be afraid to ask your friends. Like I said, the very first hunting rifle I used was a buddy's, and I shot a beautiful buck with it, and the property wasn't mine. And even to this day, I still can't afford to have my own lease. My brother, luckily, his house sits on about 50 acres, so he's given me permission to hunt back there. I've got other great friends who allowed me 300 acres to hunt some of my previous years, which is right next to my brother's property. As far as the varmint hunts, the tournament, you need a lot of property to do that because you're calling in a 24-hour period. So you got to move a lot. And luckily, the guys that I hunt with, just really good buddies, and they get permission from other people. I get permission from some people, and combined, we all make it work. But just don't be afraid. You can do it on a budget. My deer gun is a Mossberg ATR 100. It's one of the cheaper rifles, but that sucker will drop any deer it shoots. You don't have to have a $700 rifle to go out hunting and shoot a deer. It's a $290 rifle with a scope. So you can still hunt on a budget. You just got to do your research and talk to friends. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, I think the most I've ever spent on a rod and reel combo was $50, and to me that was big money.
That's awesome.
I don't use the $200 or $300 combos. That's just not. I'm not mad at you if you can, or if that's what you prefer.
Yeah.
Your money, you earned it. I hope. All
It
right,
took me
guys.
a long time to save up that money to buy that deer rifle, by the way.
Yeah. Well,
I had to borrow that rifle for 3 years.
right now I'm trying to go a little step above blue collar fishing. I'm trying to get off the bank. I want to start with a kayak. I'm looking at Pelican. That's the most affordable starting out fishing type
Mm-hmm.
kayak, other than like a $200 kayak from Walmart or whatever. But blue collar fishing, there is quite a bit of him, so I have to keep in mind the weight limits and the stability. And I can swim like a fish, but I prefer not to have to. So you know,
I'm with you. Hey, check these out. I found these on the side of the road.
what did you got there?
These is a matching set of deer antlers, the sheds. I found this one. This was almost a year ago. This was the end of February of
Mhm,
2018.
mhm.
Driving down one of the lease roads on my regular work routine, and I saw this sitting about 10 yards from a fence line on a dirt road. Hopped out of the pickup truck. It's on county property, so it wasn't on private property. Picked it up. I was, man, this is beautiful. It's a beautiful deer antler. So a week later, I'm driving in the same area, about 100 yards away, and I find this guy on the other side of the road. And when I'm looking at it, I'm like, that looks awfully like the other antler I saw. And I got home. When I held him up, I knew it was a perfect match from the same buck.
What do you do with them?
That's a great question. Can you see that right there?
There's a little bit of a lag, so I can in
Okay.
just a second when it catches up.
I got a video coming out probably next week. How to display a deer antler shed. What I like to do is I just kind of most of them. I have a bunch hanging behind me. I've probably found about 20 sheds last year. I did make a couple deer antler shed videos last year, but I like to display them. Like this matching set, I'm going to do a really cool display, and I'll do a video on how I do it. But let me get it real quick.
Yeah, I'll be sure to check that video out.
So I just set it on a nice piece of wood. You can hang it on the wall in your shop or in your house, or if your wife will let you.
We have Trapper J Outdoors has joined us in the chat tonight. Welcome, and Stanley Orchard. Hey, Stanley, buddy, how you doing tonight? Welcome.
I'll put a little comment out there.
All right, guys. We have my guest Nate of Dirt Poor Outdoors tonight. He's going to comment to be sure to check him out. It is the top of the hour, and I said at the top of the hour I would be giving this away, so we are going to give this away. And we'll have a question, and the question is, earlier in the chat, Nate mentioned the biggest nuisance that they have in Texas, the biggest problem that they're having in the hunting and wild game world in Texas. What is it? Put that in the comment box below. The first one to answer will win the lure and sticker from Jack's Lures. You can direct message me at Blue Collar Fishing, no G, twitter.com, and with your shipping information, and I will be sure to send it out.
Mr. Tully.
Mr. Tully, that's right. Wild hogs, the feral hog situation that they're having in Texas and the southeastern part of the United States has really become an issue in most areas that we were discussing. Mr. Tully, if you will look on my homepage, there is a link above to my Twitter. Go to my Twitter. If you're not already, you should be following me. Follow me, send me a direct message with your shipping information, and I will send this custom lure from Jack's Lures your way. Look how nice that is, guys. That paint job, rattles, good hooks. Hope you enjoy that, Mr. Tully. Congratulations. Thanks for coming in tonight. Stanley Orchard says, Dirtport Outdoors. I'm in Corpus Christi area. Howdy, sir. How far
How
is
you doing,
Corpus?
Stanley?
General idea.
There was a lag if you had a question for me. I didn't hear it.
Just generally, how far is Corpus Christi from you?
Corpus Christi, it's quite a ways.
The
I'm
state?
probably like 8 hours from the coastline to the closest part of the coastline.
All right. You are welcome, Mr. Tully. No problem at all. Thanks again for coming. We appreciate you being here tonight. I hope you enjoy that. Catch a lot of fish on it.
Congratulations.
We're winding down a little bit here. Me and Nate of Dirtport Outdoors will be here a little while longer. If you have any questions from the chat tonight that you'd like to ask either one of us, feel free to do so. As long as they're appropriate, we will be sure to try and answer them. If you haven't already, smash that thumbs up when you come in. We really appreciate that. If you're not subscribed to our channel, we'd really appreciate if you did so. If you haven't subscribed to Dirtport Outdoors, he's in the comment box. Go up and check out his channel. Be sure to subscribe to him. Check out the hunting videos that he has and the woodworking videos that he has coming. I'm sure he'd appreciate it too. Be sure to check each other out, guys. Growth and support. Well, I don't know if I should say the support word.
It's hard these days on YouTube to grow your channels. You know,
it is.
We
all need each other.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, they didn't have the same rules. You know, I was kind of caught in the under 1,000 subscriber change that happened. It was that last year, and it's tough. It's tough as you know. I remember when I had 15 subscribers, and I thought I would never get to 20, and then I got to 50. I thought I'd never get to 100, and it's one of those things. If you stay with it and just just try hard, just be yourself, and watch other videos. You know, my biggest thing is I watch a ton of other channels to try to get better, to better my channel. Trying to put out better content. When I watch my videos back, if I'm bored watching it, somebody else is going to be bored too. You know, so do a lot of research. You know, I'm constantly looking at how to, better descriptions and tags to try to boost your search engine. And the best thing that's helped me as far as my traffic goes is a lot of the review and DIY stuff I've been making, because you can, in the hunting world, unless you're already a big channel, it's hard to get, picked up with Google and search words, and because so many people have a hunting channel, it's hard to come up with that catchy phrase to, put in your description or your tags that's going to send it to Google, to pick up your video. So when you do like a review or a how-to or something, that gets picked up a lot easier because, when people are typing in that how-to, there's a lot of terms that come up, a lot more frequently than anything hunting. So my passion is the hunting stuff, but as far as growing my channel, it's really helped doing some of the how-to videos as far as my traffic goes.
Yeah, I have the it's hard to get noticed in the fishing world too. It's just really flooded with content. There's a lot of people out there doing it. If you just type in, general search words in Google or YouTube for fishing, the first 3 pages now will be those kids in Texas with the Goo Gun Squad. And, I'm not mad at them. They figured it out. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
I can't get mad at somebody who just figured something out before me. Congratulations,
Yeah, it's tough. It's hard to figure out what works. You just got to kind of. The thing I've noticed is you just got to start slow and be patient. Just be yourself. Figure out your personality and how you want to be portrayed on video. And how I am on my videos is exactly how I am in real life. I cut up. I try to be funny in some of my videos because I'm constantly goofing, off, trying to make my wife and my kids laugh. That's just how we are as a family. We like to laugh, and I just try to be myself, and I don't try to turn the camera on and start acting somebody that I'm not. I see a lot of YouTube channels where They'll jump in there, hey, how's it going? I can't do that. That's not my style. That's not me. But try to be myself, and if people like you, they're going to watch you, and just try to engage with people as much as you can. I try to respond to every comment somebody sends to me, um, and it's how it starts. Just stick with it.
Yeah, one of my biggest struggles is well, probably my two biggest struggles. The number one is time. This isn't my full time job. I've got a full time job, and I've got kids, and I've got a wife, and I've got a dog, and I've got all these things that require my time each day. And, there's only so much time in a day. So it's hard to gather content and edit videos. Those things take time.
Absolutely.
And then the second one is just, we were discussing it earlier off air, but the second one is just getting comfortable in front of that camera. Like, people don't realize it is hard to talk to yourself.
We talked earlier. This is the first time I've done a live. I mean, I've done it once other on my channel, but I wasn't even on the camera. I was doing some of my woodworking, and it was only like 5 minutes. And you're right. It's hard when I'm in my deer blind to sit there and you got the camera faced on you, and you're trying to make a fun video for people to watch, and there's nothing else going on. But like here's a story. I have a video. I think it's called "Bird Up, Coyote Down." I filmed it in the 2017 deer season. I'm in my blind and I'm talking to the camera, and there's a woodpecker on top of my deer blind, and he's just banging on the tin roof on my blind, destroying my video. And there's nothing I could do but laugh at it. So I kept the camera going, and I'm just watching, sitting there staring at the camera as you can hear the bird going crazy. And shortly after that, some coyote comes in during my deer hunt and ruins my deer hunt. So I believe that's a video where I shot one of the coyotes.
Yeah. All right. See if we have a couple of questions here. It looks like we have Stanley Orchard. What's up, guys? How we doing tonight? We're doing just fine, Stanley. Again, thanks for coming. Hope you're enjoying the stream tonight. What what's appropriate? Just tried DP. Looking forward to trying to drag him to Padre for some fishing. Well, there you go, there, Pores. You have that to look forward to from Stanley Orchard there. Appropriate is nothing demeaning or demoralizing or to tear people down. For me and my channel, political or politics, just not something I do here. If it's something you do, more power to you. Just, this is my page.
I agree with you there. I tend to stay away from that type of stuff. This is my hobbies. I don't want to get into a shouting match with somebody over. I'm one of those people. I respect everybody's belief. I just live my own life and try to put a smile on my face and be nice and courteous to everyone. So I
Yeah,
stay away from that too on my channels.
it took me a little while to figure that out in life, but once I did
Yeah,
figure that out, I'm much happier with it. So you just kind of like water off a duck's ass.
absolutely.
So, but yeah, but no dragging other people down. There's enough of that in the real world. We don't need it in here. Life will beat you up enough. You don't need to be beat up by your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to be funny, but totally agree. Yeah, I figured it was kind of sarcasm. I was just answering the question if anybody saw it in the comment box. What's appropriate there, Stanley? I
I
wasn't.
appreciate that comment too, Stanley. I'll hit you back. I'll say hello to you.
Uh, when was the? How long has it been since you got any fishing done there, Third Force? You said you love to fish.
Um, last time I fished was probably, oh gosh. Now you're gonna make me think too long how long it's been since I actually fished. I think it's been a year and a half since I had a pole in the water. That was well on a camping trip. We went north of Dallas. Um, I'm trying to remember that lake. Beautiful lake. We went camping for I'll say about 6 days. We rented a boat on that lake there and didn't catch anything, but had a good time. as far as my good fishing days in Florida, used to fish off the Clearwater coast, catch all kinds of grouper, snapper, just really good eating. As far as the freshwater, a lot of bluegill and catfish, stuff like that. I did do a little bit of fishing when I lived in Michigan years and years ago. A lot of walleye fishing and crappie. Really enjoyed that too.
Yeah, I spent some time in Minnesota, similar geographical areas there in the
Yeah,
fishing habitat.
we got some great lakes around here. I just got to get out to them.
Yeah, that lake north of Dallas, is that around like Lake Texoma?
Yeah, that's the lake. That's the lake.
Lake Texoma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge lake, huge.
Is it? How do you have a general idea of how big it is?
I don't. I just know it's. We didn't get close to covering the whole thing. We rented a boat, I think, for 2 days and drove around a lot. But that thing just keeps going and going. If you look on the map, just look due north of Texas, right along the Oklahoma border, and you'll find it. It's big, beautiful lake. And I believe, like we talked earlier, one of my favorite channels, Lunkers. I believe he's in the Dallas area. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's where he's from. I'm sure he's fished that lake many times.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not exactly. And the because he's a member of the. We both watch him. He's a member of the Gugan squad, so that's that's the biggest fishing results. Like I said, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm mad at them. I watch their videos. Some of them are very entertaining.
yeah.
But yeah, him and the other Gugan, the newest one too, Justin Rackley, Lake Fork guy
Hmm.
from that area of Texas too, I believe.
I'm just like most people, man. I can get addicted to YouTube easily. When I've worked a long day and kids are in bed and me and the wife are just kind of relaxing and watching TV. And if she's watching a show that I'm not into as much, I'll put my earphones in and just go to town watching YouTube videos. I really enjoy and I learn a lot from other people's channels.
Yeah, I learn. You know what? I learn quite a bit from even the channels that aren't in the outdoor world. My wife enjoys YouTube too, but we enjoy different genres of YouTube. So I'll go
Yeah,
in that rabbit hole with my phone or my tablet or whatever too, like you. But even some of the genres, she'll watch the big YouTubers and the bloggers and the comedic YouTubers. But even
yeah,
some of those guys, they have really figured this thing out. Learn tricks and tags, and so there's something to be learned in everything. I think
I agree. I see JT down there, Texoma's 89,000 acres.
that is massive.
Yeah, it's huge.
Wow, 89,000 acres. That's ridiculous. I don't think I know anybody who's ever owned 89,000 acres.
Yeah, really. Hey, Kelly,
Yes.
I'm going to have to wrap it up in about 5 minutes. I got to put them babies to bed.
Absolutely, buddy. We'll be wrapping it up in about 5 minutes. All right, folks.
Not that I want to end this because this is fun.
Yeah, it has been, man. Thanks for coming tonight, Nate.
Oh, I really appreciate you having me.
No problem at all. And enjoyed having you, man. Hopefully, this takes off a little more and we have more and more guests on.
Yeah,
I know it's winding down in the night. There's not as many people who have stayed in the stream. People have got work tomorrow, but the ones of you left, thank you so much for staying around. If you're going to watch this later, we'll go ahead and mention next week we will have Fish and Learn, who is also from Far Out Foods, I believe is the guest we'll have scheduled. That'll be next Sunday at 8 p.m. So stay tuned for that. And I will actually, we were talking about lemon pepper earlier. I tell you the truth, he has one of the only lemon peppers because it besides just that psychological thing, some of the commercial brands have a lemon pepper have a sweet chemical aftertaste.
yeah,
You know what I'm talking about? That
yeah.
restaurant in me. But his is a little more peppery. It's got a little bit more bite, and I appreciate that. So I'll send you some of his maybe.
Hey, I've got a bone to pick.
Uh-huh.
I got a bone to pick. When did you do that? You did a live 2 weeks ago, and you had two different guests. Was it Lizard? What's his name? I forget.
Lizard King Fishing and Monster Hunter.
Man, you guys had one of them questions on there, and I forget what the question you were giving. Somebody was giving away them season packets, I believe, and
Mm-hmm.
the answer was four. And by golly, I answered first, and they picked the name under me.
I'll
If you
take
look back in the comments, you'll see it. But I'm glad he won the packets. I'm just giving you a hard time.
no problem. But I'll take it up with him and I'll have Monster send you one your way.
I looked at the comment and I think it was the number four, and I typed in for it. Well, unless my computer screwed it up, but I was the top one, and somebody else said a different name. It wasn't you, but somebody else said a different name. I'm like, no, it was me. It was me. But I didn't care. I'm glad the guy won. I just giving you a hard time.
You know what? Sometimes it is. Because I watch another live stream that's kind of like a shout out channel or whatever. Sometimes what it is the lag. Like
Yeah,
in your box, it shows you were first, but in
yeah.
our box, I show you like fifth. You
I'm
know.
sure that's what it was. I'm sure that's what it was.
But yeah, I have a relationship with Steven on Twitter, so we can give him a hard time about it.
I enjoyed that live, by the way, that you did 2 weeks ago. So anybody who's in the feed right now watching it, go back and check out the Kelly's video. I think it was 2 Sundays ago, right before Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was 2 Sundays ago. I didn't go last week because I didn't want to try to compete with the Super Bowl.
But it was a great live. I enjoyed it.
Appreciate it. It was a good time. This one
Mhm.
is a great live too, and I appreciate you coming in tonight.
Yeah, man, I really enjoyed this.
All right, maybe we'll have you on again one night. Look forward to your videos that you have coming.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Stanley Orchard, I felt the same way about the hog question. Stanley Orchard is a way better answer. All right. Can I send you a DM on Instagram? I don't have Twitter. Yeah, you can send a DM on Instagram. I believe I have a business name there, so just search Blue Collar Fishing and my Instagram should come up. I'm on Instagram under my real name, but if you search Blue Collar Fishing, I believe it'll come up as well. If not, then look for Kelly Melton. All right.
Yeah. Sending my last comment now.
Sending your last comment. Thanks again. This was fun. Yeah, it sure was. All right, guys, be sure and check out Dirt Poor Outdoors if you haven't already. We want to thank him for coming tonight. If you haven't and you're still here, be sure to hit that red subscribe button. We really appreciate all our subscribers, guys. We appreciate you helping us grow. Smash the thumbs up before you leave tonight if you haven't already. That really helps us out. And thanks so much for coming, guys. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for playing. Congratulations to our winner of the Jack's Lures lure. We'll be sure to get that to you. You said you don't have Twitter or Instagram. You can also Facebook us. We have Blue Collar Fishing Facebook page. So if you have Facebook, you can reach us that way as well. And there is a link actually to all my social media in the homepage here. So if you go up to the homepage, it says follow us on Twitter, check us out on Facebook, etc., etc., and also my email. So if you just want to email me, click the link to my email that's in my homepage description, and I can get that sent out to you that way as well. All right. Congratulations again. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks again, Nate of Dirt Poor Outdoors, for coming in and answering our questions. As always,
I really
guys,
appreciate it, Kelly.
Yeah, thank you. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Tight lines, everybody. I hope you had a great weekend, and good night.